Just imagine, Joe Flacco paired up with the son of one of the greatest names in NFL history. That's the atmosphere at the Browns OTAs, which are buzzing with 4 quarterbacks competing for space and, surprisingly, 0 rivalry. Kenny Pickett made it clear. The locker room is about respect, not egos. And the presence of Shadur Sanders adds even more sparkle to this dispute. Want to know what's really going on in Cleveland? Subscribe to the channel if you're a big Browns fan, and let's watch the video. The Cleveland Browns just kicked off OTAs, and let me tell you, there's a quarterback party going on in that building. With 4 new signal callers stepping onto the field, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and Shadur Sanders, it's shaping up to be a legit wide-open QB battle. And while fans and analysts are already spiraling into full-on speculation mode over who will be under center week 1, the vibe inside the locker room seems a lot more chill. Kenny Pickett, now rocking the orange and brown after his time in Pittsburgh, decided to set the record straight. He knows what everyone's saying about tension, rivalries, egos clashing. But according to him, that couldn't be further from the truth. The media might love to stir the pot, but Pickett says that behind closed doors, this QB room is all about respect and growth. When you're living the grind in meetings, out at practice, man, you're spending hours with these dudes, Pickett said. Yeah, we're all competing, no doubt, but you also become friends. You're helping each other, learning together. That's what it's really like. It's not some locker room drama. It's just guys pushing each other to be better. Rookie Dillon Gabriel echoed the same sentiment a couple weeks back, calling the QB rivalry chatter divisive, and he's clearly not buying into that hype either. Now look, Pickett and Flacco aren't just 2 vets fighting for a starting job, they're also stepping into mentor mode for Gabriel and Sanders. That's 20 years of NFL experience between them being poured into the future of Cleveland's quarterback room. So while the outside world is busy treating this like a QB reality show, inside the building, it's all about chemistry, competition, and building something real. The Browns may not know who their starter is yet, but they're definitely cooking up a tight-knit crew to lead this offense. Will this harmony between the Browns QBs last until the start of the season? And what did Flacco say about playing with Deion's son? The second part is even crazier. The Cleveland Browns quarterback room in 2025 might just be one of the most entertaining groups in the league, not just for the talent, but for the personalities. You've got grizzled vets like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett mixing it up with young guns Dillon Gabriel and Shadur Sanders. And naturally, Shadur's arrival is grabbing a ton of attention because, let's be real, when your last name is Sanders and your dad is Deion, expectations come built in. Coach Prime lit up the NFL for over a decade, making his case as the GOAT at cornerback. Now Shadur's stepping onto the NFL stage with that same swagger, hoping to carve out his own chapter in the Sanders football saga. And Joe Flacco, he's been around long enough to appreciate how wild this full-circle moment really is. While chatting with the media during OTAs, Flacco dropped a gem when asked about teaming up with Shadur. With a laugh, he said, "I probably wasn't too far away from playing against his dad, and now I'm playing with him." And the crazy part? That's almost true. Deion's final NFL season was in 2005 with the Ravens, the same team that scooped Flacco up just a few years later in 2008. That's some straight-up football time warp stuff. Flacco, now 40, is expected to start the season under center for the Browns. He's not just a reliable arm, but the ultimate bridge guy as Cleveland grooms the QB of the future. Whether Shadur is ready to take the reins this year or needs a little more runway into 2026, the Browns are in good hands with Flacco holding things down. Let's not forget, this isn't just a nostalgia act. Flacco balled out in 2023, dragging the Browns into the playoffs before a brief Indy detour, and now he's back in Cleveland for another go. The Browns have themselves a veteran leader, a future face of the franchise, and apparently, some solid locker room comedy too. The competition is real, but the atmosphere is one of partnership. Flacco still has gas in the tank, and Shadur is promising. If this group stays together, the Browns could surprise. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything!